Good evening and welcome to Love Angels Light TV. This is Bianca and Jake from Access Phenomenance. Welcome back. You guys are becoming a bit regular on here.
I know, it's been quite a lot of fun talking with you and all the people that are commenting and asking us questions. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Glad to be back.
It is fun. All right. Do you want to give us a little bit of a rundown on what Access Bars is and what you do and all the magic things?
Yes, so both me and Jake are both Access Consciousness Bars facilitators, and we also do a lot of the processes and tools and questions that Access Consciousness offer. So basically what Access Bars is, it's a 32 body process that we touch different points on the head, and what it does, it actually helps to release everywhere you're going into overthinking, everywhere you've got any limitations that are stopping you, where you get that doubt, where you get fear, anger, all that kind of stuff, upset, anywhere where you get anything like that, or anywhere in your life that's not working, the Access Bars actually contribute to changing that for you. And it also basically, the whole purpose of the Access Bars is to allow your body to actually receive for probably the first time in this lifetime, which is something that we're not taught here. So that's what Access Bars is about. I have been doing Access Bars probably for about 5 years now, and it's just changed my life. So my best advice to you, if you are a little bit interested, just try it. You know, the worst thing that's going to happen is you just feel relaxed and super awesome afterwards. The best thing that can happen is your life will start changing in ways you never thought possible. And what if this is something you've been looking for? So I invite you to try it. That's the best way to actually know what it is. And Jake can talk to you about what Access Consciousness is about a bit more as well.
Well, this topic is going to be called Communion with the Earth. And we're going to go, if you have guys and girls have any questions about what Communion of the Earth is and how can I contribute, how can the Earth contribute, we're going to go through questions. It's going to be a bit of fun. So it's a very different topic that probably other people know. Oh, communion with the earth. What do you mean communion with the earth? You know, so this thing with Access Consciousness, it's about having communion with all things, with all people, animals, plants, the entire planet. So if people have any questions about this topic, communion with the earth, that's what we like to base this call on, and just allow a new possibility, something different.
Yes. So what does it mean in terms of Access Bars and communion with the earth?
Well, Access
How does that
Bars
work?
is kind of, well, Access Bars, it actually teaches you how to receive. Like, does anyone here know how to truly receive? You know, like for me, before Access, I was like, they're talking about receiving. I'm like, what are you talking about? I receive. Of course I do. You know, you go into this, like, justifying it. And I truly actually didn't know what receiving was. I thought receiving was just like, you know, someone, I don't know, like one of your family members giving you, making you some food or something, like your grandparents making you food or this and that. And like that's what we think about receiving is. It's like people gifting us food. And that's what this reality is based around, what receiving is. So receiving is actually, it opens you up to the whole universe, what true receiving is. And the communion with the earth, the topic, it's about receiving from everything. Like, we just think that we have to receive from people, my family members, my kids. Well, you know what? You can receive from your plants. You can receive from your plants, your animals. That's why we like to tend to like our animals a lot more than our family members. You know why? It's because animals, they don't judge us. They don't judge us for the way we look, what job we have. They're just like, you're you. I'm going to be here to contribute to you. So that's kind of having a communion with the earth, because the animals, they have communion with the earth, that we can watch them and what they do and ask to how, like, be that. Ask how to be their communion. and because that can actually teach us a new way of living.
Plus, we can receive so much. So we actually think that we can only receive from things that we can see, or things that we can, like material things. So, and it has to be in a form of like money or someone actually gifting you something. But like Jake was saying, like, what if every single plant in your backyard, in your front yard, what if everywhere you went, what if every single brick on your house, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, what if you could receive from all of that? And what if all of those things were actually there to contribute to you, but because we're not taught to receive, we can't actually use that capacity that we have. And that's what Access Bars does. It actually helps you to start receiving from you and from all these things, because everything's made up of molecules. Even science says that everything is made up of molecules. It's just that some molecules are moving a lot faster, and that's why, and slower, and that's why they're solid. So even your walls, even concrete has molecules, but it's just moving such a slow rate that you can't actually see it moving. So those molecules are there to contribute to you as well, but you kind of block that off. And as well with the earth, we're actually part of the earth as well. So all the animals, the trees, like we all work together. Without the trees, we wouldn't be able to breathe clean air. So they actually work with us, with our bodies as well. So we contribute to them as well. And that's what receiving can contribute with. You know, we work together, and that's what actually helps the planet. And also with the planet, the most like I know a lot of things going on around the world with global warming and everything like that. With the planet, the most thing that kills the planet right now is just our judgment. Our judgment that we do to ourselves, that we do to others. That's what's actually killing a lot of the planet, because it's just, they even did an experiment with trees, with plants, saying if one plant had a lot of affection and love and adoration, it actually blossomed and grew better. The plant that actually got abused and was told horrible things, it actually started to die.
Yeah, I know. So we're
doing that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're judging yourself, when you're judging someone else, you're killing the earth basically. So just by changing that and learning to receive, that's your contribution that you can be.
And plants, they have a different energy. Like they have an energy of true allowance. Like they'll allow you to do anything to a tree, like cut it and this and that. They're not crying out loud, you know, they're not whinging or sucking. They just take it. They're like, oh, I'm getting a bit of a trim, you know. Or you see on those places where there's power lines and the tree's growing like this, like a U shape around the power lines. And the tree's like, I'm still going. I'm still living. I'm still being green. So if we have like, be that energy, what trees can be. The trees can actually teach us a lot. How to really actually have allowance. Like they do anything. They have so much allowance. What we don't have allowance. You know, we don't have allowance when someone comes in, one of our family members, and does something in the kitchen and leaves a dish or something. We get straight away angry just by something a minor like that. Though trees and this and that are going to be cut down, a whole forest being cut down, and they're still in allowance. So let's have some allowance for what trees have, you know. And it's going to take some practice, though. That's what I'm asking every day. How can I outcreate the way trees have allowance for others? And what that does, it allows me to have communion with the earth, where I've never had communion before. I didn't know that was a possibility. So the tool, yeah. The tools of act. You like it? Yeah.
I like it. I'm one of those crazy people that thanks the parsley for giving me herbs for my dinner.
Well, exactly. The plants, they feed us as well, and
yeah,
like we don't actually realize how much they actually contribute to us every single day. And if you're willing to receive that, it's kind of like sometimes like the way you can receive a plant, for instance. So I heard Dr. Davey, he's one of the co-founders of Access Consciousness, who was doing a call. They have this thing called Earth Wizard that they're doing at the moment. So if you Google Access Consciousness, I'm pretty sure it's available to all newbies as well. You don't have to have done some courses in Access Consciousness. And basically he's doing like telecourse series and like doing Facebook Lives as well, and just saying what you can contribute to the earth. And one thing he actually said in there was, when you acknowledge the earth, you actually contribute to it as well. So say like when you see a plant and you actually say, oh, hi, you just say hi to the plant. I know it's weird, but if you just
we are weird.
It, you just look at it and be like, hi, you're beautiful today, or how are you today? That actually contributes to that plant so much, and the rest of the plants around. And so that's what you can do. Like when you go outside, even if you've got one plant in your house, just acknowledge it and say, hi, how are you?
Just hi, plant, you're cool today.
Because that plant, like plants, they really do contribute. Like we come to this earth and we think, oh yeah, I've got my dirt, I've got my land that I live on, my dirt. They don't realize that dirt can just crumble underneath you. That dirt is holding you up. It's supporting you. It's giving you energy. It's giving you air. No one thinks that breathing in air is like just a normal thing. You don't even think about it. You don't even think that you're doing it, because it's just, that's what I do. So imagine if you didn't have to breathe anymore. What does that, like, that's the trees contributing to us. But we don't say, like we just, like I know some people are like, oh, I just cut that tree down, it's in the nuisance. And like Jake said, the tree has allowance. It's just like, all right, if you want to cut me down, I'm cool. I'll just grow somewhere else next time, or I'll reroute how I grow. Like some trees we've asked, like, would you like to, are you okay if we, like if they're not growing as good, you can ask the tree, you can say, would you like me to cut you? And you can come back as another tree somewhere else. And they'll actually, like, they'll tell you. Like our property, we have so many tall trees around just there. Like we only live on a block of land, but we have so many tall trees around our house. And when they have like really like winds, like everyone always asks, well, you must get so much damage from your house. But the trees are really close to our house. But because we like really like our trees and we kind of have a communion with them, we've never actually had any of our trees damage any of our property. They fell on our neighbour's fence and destroyed some of the stuff from them because they really didn't like our trees. But because we just cared about our trees so much, they never actually did any harm to our house.
If you have communion, if you have more communion with the earth and you're actually there to actually contribute to the earth's going to contribute to you back. So it's not about, this reality is based around, like we'll take from the earth. Though we've never actually asked, actually, how can I contribute? Earth, what do you require? What do you desire of me today? And what can I contribute? So when you wake up in the morning, you can ask this question. Earth, what do you desire? What do you require? And what can I contribute? And what that's going to do, it's actually going to allow you to have more of peace in your life, like more communion in your life, more ease in your life, where you never had that before. Is when you contribute to the earth's going to contribute to you. Remember, the earth is a lot more powerful, potent being than any other beings around here. So if you contribute to the earth's really going to contribute to you. So that's what I've done. I thought it was all wacko stuff, though. When I actually asked, okay, what do you require, earth? My life got better. It got greater. So it is weird. It is a bit wacky, though I am weird. I am different. And the more different I am, more people want to talk to me, the more people want to go, oh, what's he do? So being different is actually, it may be a little bit more uncomfortable, though you go past that and it's actually going to contribute to you more.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? When we recognize that everything is energy and we are all part of this great universal thing called energy, love, whatever, it shifts you. It makes you change. You have to sort of recognize that is the way things are. It's actually brilliant. So when you're talking about what you guys are talking about, 100% what I believe and what I agree with, because all you're doing when you say, hey, what can I do to contribute? You're shifting your perspective away from you, away from what you want to do, away from the me focus of society. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Well, it is like the earth, and the earth just it contributes us every single day. Like whether we acknowledge it or not, it's still like even right now, the earth's contributing to you in some way, whether it's giving you energy, whatever it is. And by you just saying, what can I contribute to you? It's kind of like you're like healing the earth. Like if everyone on the planet right now, or even if half the planet said to right now, Earth, what can I contribute to you today? That's actually what could change to heal the planet. Like that's how simple it is.
That's right.
Our energy, like what the earth does, like the earth is like a super awesome indicator. Like Jake was saying with the trees, like if you can have the same allowance as a tree does, and like imagine if you could have that in your own life. Like how peaceful and like it's such a different way of looking at your life than it currently is. We get caught up in that trauma, that drama, all the problems, all those things. But a tree just, it just sits there. And if someone does chop, it's like, one of our neighbors, they chopped, because we went over the fence, they chopped one of our branches off. And so what the tree did, we thought, okay, because the tree looked half dead, and we're like, okay, the tree might not survive this. It actually got new shoots and started growing in the opposite direction, so it wouldn't go over their fence.
And now it's just as big as it was before.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was about 6 months ago.
So that's awesome.
Like it didn't go, I hate this person because they chopped one of my arms off, in a sense. It just said, you know what? Okay, I just have to go a different direction. Those people don't desire me to be near them. I'll just go in a different direction. Yeah. It didn't fall onto their house. It didn't, get angry or anything. It just said, okay, I'll just choose a different path that's going to work for me. And we can actually be like that too. Like I have dogs, and when I look at them, like they just have so much fun in everything they do. Like, I have toys for them, and they play with all these little toys as well. But when they go outside in their backyard or in the park, they find a stick. They play with grass. They play with the flies. The flies are flying around. They're trying to catch them. And you can just see that they're just having so much fun with the simplest things. Like they don't require, a fancy toy or fancy things to have fun. They're just having fun right now.
I was just having fun with a stick, Back in the day, where your grandparents, what they went outside, they just played with a stick, they didn't have fancy laptops and iPhones and this and that. They just went outside and played with a stick or whatever they could grab, climb a tree. And it was more different to these times now. It's all about, what game do you have, this and that, or PlayStation game you're playing. Though, like I played a lot of PlayStation games as well, before Access and stuff. Though, it's my whole life has changed with Access. Like it's transformed my whole life. What Access Conscious has done for me. It's allowed me actually to create. It's about creating your life. Like, without Access, it's about always having to do what other people want you to do. Like asking other people, oh, what should I do here? What career should I create? It's never about what you want. Access empowers you to know what you know, and gift that out to the world. Like my capacity. How can I use that? What capacities do I have in here? It's all about us asking out here. Come to me to find my capacity. Your capacities are in here. So Access is about bringing them out to you, bringing them out so you can actually start choosing them for you. And that's what it's done for me. They can do it for you too. Doesn't matter who you are, you can do it for you too. What she say?
And yeah, and like.
Well, Access bar, yeah. We're talking about again. Access bars. This allows you to start receiving. So, if you don't know what receiving is, go book in a session for Access bars, or just find out some videos on YouTube. What Access bars does, it's a first body process of access consciousness, and it's 32 points in the head. And what it is for me, I actually started having peace in my life after I started doing it. Not the first session. The first session, I was like, what happened? Like, I didn't really feel nothing. I didn't feel nothing different. I was like, oh, this is cool, this is different, but I didn't actually sense or feel. I wasn't like one of those type of people where some people like get off the table and like, whoa, I really felt it, this and that. So I kept going. I had a few sessions, and what happened was I just started actually knowing who I was. I actually knew who I was for the first time in my life. And that was about 5 years ago. I had my first bar session. So I actually started knowing who I was. And with that, it's transformed my whole life. You can have a look at I got a YouTube series. You can just put in my name, and I got heaps of videos up, and you'll just see what Access has really done for my life, how it's transformed. And in those videos, I give so many tools and questions, so you can have that. Like, it's in this reality, we're like, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do that? There's no one gives you actually. People say, oh, get the answers, and this and that. But how? Access actually shows you how to create your life.
And you can start straight away. Like, this isn't something that you have to go and do a million courses on or study or anything like that. Like, you can just go and watch. Like, if you type in Access Consciousness in YouTube, Dr. Dane here, he's one of the co-founders. He does so many videos, or Jake Savage, who does videos as well. Like, they do so many videos on like tools and questions that you can use right now. Like, and there's all different topics that they talk about as well. And so it doesn't have to be that you have to go and invest money into. You can. The more, like, there is a lot of classes like Access Bars. You can learn the Access Bars, and you actually, like, it's a 1-day course. And if you do the course, you receive the bars twice, and you actually perform the bars twice. And once you do that course, you can actually become a practitioner as well. So it's a 1-day course, and you can actually make money off it too if you chose to do that. So that's another possibility as well that you can do.
And thousands of people worldwide, tens of thousands of people are actually doing the Access Bars. They see how their friends are transforming, and they're like, I desire to have that. I want that.
Like, that's what when we first learned Access Bars, like, we did the course, and like, we just did it. We just learned it to do it on each other. We're like, it's cool to learn it. We're going to do it on each other. Let's change some stuff. And after a few years of doing it on each other, we're like, this is so awesome. We would like to teach it. So we started to teach it, and there's so many other people in Australia, worldwide. Yeah, I think there's like 5,000 to 10,000 facilitators now of Access Bars. Yeah. And that's just the starting. Like, there's so much more. And like, it's just basically, if you want a life that's more ease, joy, and glory, more fun, more enjoyable, then this is for you. If you like your trauma and your drama and your problems and that kind of stuff, then maybe this isn't for you. Because sometimes you kind of, you can tell, like, sometimes when I see certain people, I see certain friends, I can see that they really like enjoy their trauma and drama. Like, it's kind of like fun for them, and which is fine. Like, it's their choice. If you like it, you like it, So, but if you're looking for something different, if you're looking to actually like live your life joyfully, like, I'll be honest, before Access Consciousness and Access Bars, I probably didn't even know what joy even meant. You think you do, like, you're thinking like, oh yeah, I'm happy when I get this. Or you keep saying to yourself, I'll be happy when I do this. I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when this happens. And then when that happens, and you're like, oh, is that it? Like, how many people say, oh, when I get in a really nice relationship, I'm just going to be so happy. And then that happens, and you're like, oh, okay. And you're like, oh, if I get a brand new car, I'm going to be so happy. And then you get it, and you're like, oh.
You might be happy for the first week or so.
Yeah, and then I'm saying, you're kind of like, gone. But why can't you be happy today? Why can't you be happy right now? Like, why do we have to wait for something?
Or have a certain thing to make us happy?
Yeah, like me and my brother, we just laugh at anything now. Like, we're just happy. Like, we're
a lot more happier than most people out there. Put it that way.
Yes.
Like, I was talking to him.
But you're still human.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have ups and downs.
Exactly.
Yeah, of
We're
course.
not 100% like, one day maybe we'll get to that, but obviously you have your days where it's not so happy.
Yeah.
But like even like we're brother and sister, and I was talking to Jake the other day about something, and I'm like, oh, it was so cool back when I was a teenager or something. And he goes to me, he goes, you know what? He goes, I didn't actually like you when you were a teenager. He goes, you weren't really that nice to me. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're a different person. He goes, when you were back before we used to do Access bars and Access consciousness, he goes, I didn't really want to hang out with you or talk to you. He goes, it's not like now. And I was like, okay, wow. Because even though I knew our relationship changed so much from Access, you still kind of look back and be like, oh, it wasn't as bad as you think it was, But then when he said that to me, I was like, wow, we really did have a not nice relationship. And it wasn't because we were intentionally nasty to each other. It wasn't anything like that. It's just you're entrained. You're entrained to always fight with your brother and sister. You're entrained to have competition. You're entrained to have
Not training my kids to do that.
Yeah, but you have that kind of
Oh, planet does.
like everyone has that competitiveness. Like I see it even with, like you see it with other, like I know parents don't intentionally do it either, but you kind of like, if one kid's doing really well, then you're like, oh, why can't you be like this one? Even if it's just for a second. And you say, it's not that you mean it, but then that it takes it to heart. Like I used to think that my brother used to get favored so much. And then my mum would be like, oh no, I favored you more than my brother. But I'm like, I don't think so. That wasn't in my reality. And it's not wrong in anyone. Like, parents are doing what they can do with what they've got at that time. And it's not judging or anything. It's just, we're kind of taught not to be kind. Like, unfortunately, that's just how the world is.
Yeah, we think like kind is like me giving out. Though if you're giving out all the time, you got to be kind to yourself. Like when are we kind to ourselves? So
Exactly.
By you being kind to yourself, what's that going to contribute? It's actually going to contribute other people being kind to you, and you can be kind to them. Like it's not about. I know like a lot of parents, a lot of mums are out there. Like it's always about giving out. Though when is the time for you? So it's about being kind to you. So when a choice comes up, you've got to ask: is this going to be kind to this choice going to be kind to me? And that don't worry about like if you're going to offend someone. You're like one of your friends calls you and like, oh, well, let's go out this way, let's go over here and this and that, and it doesn't feel right for you. Don't feel bad for telling them no.
100%.
When we're like, oh, we can't say no. I've got to do what. But after you didn't enjoy it, you're like, oh, what I do that for? What you get into this, then you make yourself wrong after. Like, it's because you didn't choose for you. Like now, I choose for me, and I don't offend anyone. I'm like that choice that doesn't work for me. I say to them, that choice doesn't work for me. What else you got?
We've got Aaron asking, can Access bars benefit a tough family as a whole, including young kids?
Young family, yeah.
Access bars can contribute to everyone. As you can see, we're a brother and sister, and we actually have a business together. We work together every single day. And I'll be honest with you, before Access Consciousness is Access Bars, I couldn't talk with my brother for longer than 2 minutes. Like I'd go see him to talk to him.
And shut up.
That's how conversation was. And if we talk to each other, we'd have a fight. If we spoke to each other longer than 2 minutes, we would start screaming. You know what I mean? Like screaming at each other. Like you think that we're gonna kill each other. And now we spend hours together every day, and we're like we actually work together. If we fight now, it's basically we're actually doing it more from a kindness point, as in saying, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you choosing right now? Like, it's more like a different.
It's more of a community, like with the topic communion.
Yeah.
It's more of a communion with each other.
So it's a lot different. Like we actually work with each other now.
Like what works for you? Like for our relationship to work so well, and for anyone that have relationships on the call, you gotta be willing for the other person to do whatever they desire, and they got to be willing to allow you to do anything you desire. And that's how a relationship can work. So you got to allow them to do what, if they want to watch football or they want to play video games, you have to be allowance of them doing that. And then also they have to be allowance for you doing whatever you desire to do. Read a book, go out for a walk, whatever you desire. It's got to, you got to be okay with what they do, and they got to be okay with what you do. And if that doesn't work, well, then you have to rethink some stuff.
100%.
And like with that, because see what Access Bars does as well, we actually we're like radio responder systems, where we pick up a lot of information. So say when you go out to work, you've been with all these different people, you know, so you're picking up all these different energies, all these people's thoughts, feelings, emotions that they're going through. So then when you're coming home, like you can bring that out on your family. So you can, like, you know, when you come home, it's usually when people have arguments with people, is they come home from work and their partners just said something as soon as they've walked into the door, and then that's when hell breaks loose. You notice that when you fight with someone, it's always at a point where, like, you don't go up and have a fight with your partner or your family or your friends when everything's la-di-da and you're also happy. It always seems to be where the point is when you're feeling
the worst possible moment.
When you're feeling like a little bit down or you're not feeling like yourself. That's when the fights seem to happen. It's kind of like the other person knows, you know, oh, if I say something now, everything's going to happen. And sometimes we create that too.
Because we're all psychic.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone doesn't want to know that, but you're all psychic. So we pick up energetically stuff, what's in our partner's heads, in our kids' heads, and we think that's ours. You know, we lock that into our body. And yeah, with the tools of Access.
With Access Bars, it helps to clear those. So say if your partner's coming home from a bad day and you can see that they just look bad, instead of talking to them about the bills or dinner or something, you could just say, hey, would you like to just lie down and receive the bars? And they're probably like, oh yeah, okay, cool, I'll just lie down. And you doing their bars, you're going to clear all that stuff, and so then they can be them again. That's what the bars does. It actually clears all the crap that we collect, all those thoughts in your head that you're overthinking of stuff. It clears all that so you can be you. So it can
and it works. It works vice versa. Like for you, whoever's running your bars, like if you're running someone's bars, you're clearing the stuff as well as they are on the table. So it's a two-way street. That's how phenomenal it is.
And like with kids, like say to them, like we like it helps even with, like say if all your family didn't do the bars, by you doing the bars, you can actually change your family as well, because you're clearing stuff that you're putting onto them as well. And with kids, it's awesome for kids because kids actually, they pick up everything from the parents.
If you like to have 3 weeks of quiet time, get your kids to run your bars.
Get your the kids' bars run.
Right, yeah, get your kids' bars run if you want 3 weeks of quiet time. That's quoted by Gary Douglas, and he was the one that founded the bars. So yeah, if you like to have a quiet household, get your kids' bars run. Oh, don't do that. It's better be in a noisy place.
Erin's again asked, well, what it does, it actually helps to clear the energies that's not yours. So it clears the stuff that's not you, and then so it allows you to choose from you rather than choosing from someone else. Like when you fight with someone, it's usually because something's like you notice when you don't fight with someone when things are great, or when you do fight with someone, like say if you fight with your partner and they're in such a happy mood, they're so like over the moon, if you could chuck a brick at them and they wouldn't even notice, like that kind of way, like whatever you say to them, they won't retaliate back to you. But you notice how you always go and have a fight with someone, like just from your point, like when you fight with your friend, your family, or your partner, you always choose to fight with them when they're kind of a bit down. Like you choose to go up to them and be like, oh, what's happening with this and this and this, and then it becomes a fight. When you do your Access Bars, you start to get an awareness of like, you know what?
I'm not going to fight with that person today.
They just don't look like this isn't the time for me to talk about.
Like
this.
you have no more knowing when to do stuff. Like you have a knowing in your head. Okay, right now I'm not going to talk to that person. Talk to them a bit later. Like you'll gain more awareness. So, like for me, when I have a sense that a family member's had a rough day, I don't go up and rush into the tool and say, "Oh, this and that," get in their face. I don't want to be in your face. Allow them to have some peace. Go back to see them in an hour. You'll kind of know this stuff, and by you doing that, you don't end up having a fight with them, and your life gets easier. Your life gets greater by that one choice. By saying, "Oh, I'm going to go see them in the next hour," because I know that they've come back. The energy's a bit all over the shop, so I'm just going to come back and see it in an hour, and then you talk to them, and you'll see how it's different. You'll see that, oh well, I didn't go to that fight mode today.
Sure.
And that's how simple it can be. It's just choice. It's just choice.
Thanks. Someone said that we both have lush hair.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Well, he's actually more of the hairdresser than me. I'm a bit more basic compared to him.
I think I'd love
like, can you do my hair?
Sometimes she asks, "Can I do her hair?" I'm like, nice. You have to book in the session.
Yeah, that's right. That'll be $70. Thanks.
And you can, like, even with Access, they say that you can actually ask your hair to look how you want it to look.
Nice.
So it's just our point of view that we think, oh yes, I've got to do this, I've got to wash my hair, I've got to straighten my hair, I've got to blow dry my hair, I've got to curl my hair, and all that stuff.
No.
You can actually ask your hair, what would you like to look like here, without any point of view of what it's going to look like. And I've actually done it a few times when I haven't had a point of view, and it's actually looks so like my hair, when I wash it straight away, it's kind of got a wave to it. And I did it once, and my hair was so beautifully. It looked like I went to the hairdressers and got it done, but it was just, I just washed it and let it dry. And it can be that simple, but we like to complicate our life, unfortunately. So
we do. The last psychic fair I went to was in Ulladulla in September, and it got quiet in the afternoon, and they had some guys there doing access bars, and I went, I got time. And as he was running the bars, he's gone, now I'm just going to do this section here where you might feel something in your feet or in your leg or whatever. And I've gone, okay. He's gone, some people feel nothing. And oh no, I'll feel it. Do you know what I do? And sure enough, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I actually felt a little twang here and a little twitch there. And yeah, it was interesting actually having it done. I don't think I snored.
Well, some people do, some people don't. It just depends.
Blocked sinuses.
And it can help. It can help you. Like, me and Jake don't really get sick anymore. And, like, it can help with anything. It can help with anything.
Even if we do get sick, like for me, a flu, like, I used to have flus years ago, and they'll last like weeks and weeks, and it'll go through that scene like runny nose, then coughing and this and that, and then the coughing was just like, it went for like months sometimes.
Yeah.
And now, just say if I'm feeling symptoms of a flu, I still get a runny nose and this and that. Like, symptoms still show up, though my body somehow, it knows what to do. Like your body, like, it gives you your immune, it lifts up your immune system. So your immune system is stronger. So when you do get sick, you get like.
It only lasts for like you get like a sore throat, and then you just be like, okay, that's not. You can use it to return to sender with consciousness attached, or we get our bars run.
But even though just by having the bars run, your body has a more of a.
Like, even you don't even have to eat bars run then, just by having them before run. The sickness will go away really quick. Like, say if you got the cold, when we do get it now, it lasts us like a few hours or a day. The next morning we wake up, it's like, we weren't even sick.
Because your body knows what to do. Like, it goes like, okay, I've got to go here, and it goes there. It knows where the symptom is. It knows how to heal it at the speed of space. It's taken a while, a lot of body processes and this and that. Every time I had a new bars session done, this and that, I've just noticed I had more ease on my body. every single time I just had more ease, more ease, more ease, and it makes a big difference. It made a big difference.
Plus, also with the body's kind of like trying to communicate with us as well. The body has a voice. We kind of like, it's like the body's speaking to us in a foreign language, and we don't know that language. And when you do get your bars run and you do use the tools of Access Consciousness, you start to know the language of your body, which is energy in a sense. So right now, the only way the body can communicate with you is through pain.
Yeah.
So when a pain actually occurs, it's like your body's giving you some sort of message, whether it's for an actual thing that's going on inside your body, whether it's for you not going somewhere, because if you go somewhere that day, something's going to happen, whether it is like even the earth actually, when the earth requires our contribution, the earth will actually make pain in our body. And if we acknowledge that, then the pain will go away instantly.
We can just ask, like, acknowledge that. You can ask, like, is this the pain's body? Is this the pain from the earth? And if it is, what the earth really requires for us is for us to give energy to the earth. So we can say, this is from Access Consciousness. They say this, and they like, just give energy to the earth. You can just say that simple. I now give energy to the earth. I now give energy to the earth. I now give energy to the earth. And by you doing that, that's sometimes where pain may not go away for a long, long time. It's because the earth's trying to give us information. Our bodies are giving us information through pain, because we know that that's only the way when we actually know what's going on. Like, that's the only thing we listen to these days, just pain. So it might be our body, it might be the earth. So just say, if it is the earth, just say, like, I gift you energy, earth. And by that, you're going to have more communion with the earth. You're going to have more communion with your body.
Yeah.
So that basic tool, just say, I gift energy to the earth, gift energy to the earth. And if you have to do that for 10 minutes of just saying, I gift energy to the earth, I gift energy to the earth. And by you gifting energy to the earth, it's simultaneously. You're going to be gifted, you're going to be receiving that energy as well as gifting it out. So yeah.
And you can actually ask your body too, like say when you do get pains or you do get sick, you can actually ask your body, what are you trying to tell me? You know, it could be that your body's trying to give you some sort of information. And if you ask that question, because it obviously knows still that you can't understand it, it will give it to you in a way that you can. So say if you ask your body, okay, what is this you're trying to give to me? You may not get it straight away, even though it's telling you straight away. It might take you a week. It might take you, the next day. It might take you 2 seconds to get what it actually is, but it will tell you. And it won't stop telling you until you get it. So it's usually like, for me, like if I get a pain somewhere and it doesn't go away straight away, or it doesn't go away after I've acknowledged the pain, then I'll be like, okay, so what is this? And then I'll keep asking more questions and more questions and more questions, eventually until I get what it's trying to tell me. And it could be like, you just saw someone walking on the street that had a problem like they were sick. And your body was just like telling you, like saying, hey, we just walked past someone that had a sore leg. So it's kind of like it's talking to you as well. Like your body talks to other bodies. So it's just communicating with you. And so
it's just the capacity we have. We never been taught this, that it's just a capacity we have to pick up little things out of other people's bodies that we've never been taught that we can. So yes, by you walking past someone, you can pick up some leg pain and this and that. And it has happened for me. I was walking out in the bush, and I'm pretty fit as so, and I knew that I'm walking. I just started walking as well, and then my calves started hurting. Hold on a sec. And I knew some tools from Access at that stage. I knew a few tools, so I was doing some, and I did some, and then I looked over to the left, and there were these workers working in the bushland, and they looked passed out. They were knocked out. They looked like they've been working for 20 hours. Who knows how long? And then when I actually acknowledged that, what changed it when I just said, okay, I acknowledged that. Whoa, I was picking up the pain of these people because they're working all day in the bushland. And what happened then? A few minutes later, the pain all went away. It was that easy. It's just because our bodies can pick up stuff from other people. Like it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a right or wrong. It just that's what our capacities are. That we do that. So by you acknowledging, okay, well, hold on, is this my pain? Oh no. You just have, by that little acknowledgement, that can change. Like it can change your whole life.
Yeah.
And I went on by my dad, did my walk and this and that. So my life got greater. You know, if I had to buy into the walk back to the car, I'm like, oh, my legs hurt now. What did I come out here for? I shouldn't have did this. And then you go to the wrongness of you. And then where's that go? You're on the couch eating crisps and watching Netflix. You know?
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that either. But it just gives you choice
Judging people. No, it's awesome. No, it's actually really good. Rebecca actually said she'd never thought of it like this. So yeah, you know, it is eye-opening. Once people understand that we, like you said before, we all do all have a psychic gift. We do all have the capacity to take on the energy of others. And if you can recognize that and ask yourself if it is yours. I know when I first started doing this work, that was really important for me to go, is this, whatever this is, mine? And if the answer was no, I'm like, no, I don't want it. But it wasn't until I started doing this work that I realized that when I used to leave work because I was sick and, you know, 20 minutes from work, I was feeling fine again. I'm like, well, what's that about? I never realized that it was the environment or the people I was working with or something else that was actually making me feel horrible. So, you know, you got to be aware.
Exactly. And that's what Access Consciousness is about. It's about knowing, like, being more aware of your surroundings. And it's not saying as well, like, for instance, in that situation, it's not saying that because that was happening, that now you've got to run away from that environment and hide in your, you know, like, you can't be around those types
in your
of people
safe quarters.
Like, with the tools of
That's
Access,
why I
like,
work
for
from
me,
home.
like, for me,
That's why everyone gets Uber Eats, because they don't want to go out and get food.
That's right.
well, it changed. Like, for me, like, I used to hate going to shopping centers because I'd go there and I would come back and I'd be like, oh, like, I just want to, like, sleep.
What I
10
go there
hours.
for, yeah.
And now, like, with the tools that we have, like Access gives you, you can go to places where people are miserable, people are sad, people are
Whatever's going on.
whatever's going on there, you know, people aren't feeling in that mood that's contributing to you, and you can still be you. Like, that's the whole point of Access Consciousness. It's not about teaching you techniques that are foreign. A lot of the stuff in Access Consciousness, when you hear them, you actually get a sense like, oh wow, like, finally someone's talking to me in a language that I know, that I've been feeling since I was born. Like, when I was young, like, I used to look at people and I was like, how can people function like this? Like,
who are these people? What are they doing here?
Like, this isn't normal what people do. But then because the years go on and you go to school, you're getting trained, you know, you get told this is how it is, you start to adapt and live, like, this life that isn't quite pleasant for most people. And you do get affected. Like, you get affected when you hang out with people that are in a bad mood. You get affected if you work with people that are always depressed and sad and complaining. Like, it does affect you unless you know what's going on. Like, now, like, me, like, I can go anywhere. I've gone to places, like, with family where, you know, it's been a bit intense of argument. And I've actually been like, okay, I've walked around like, okay, cool. So they're choosing that. I'm choosing this. That's all right. That's fine. And like, I walked away like I was still happy. Like, I didn't allow what was going on around me to affect me. And I didn't make them wrong either. Like, I didn't make them wrong for choosing that upset and anger and frustration. I just was like, okay, they're choosing this. That's fine. That's their choice.
Yeah, when someone,
you know, so
when one of your family members or friends, if they have an upset or this and that, you're gonna have to be like, okay, they're choosing this with no point of view. But you having no point of view what they're choosing, and then they can change. If you buy into their crap, their stuff, or like, oh, why they do this for, that's can't believe what they did, can't believe what they said. If you're buying into that, where's that going for you? That's leading you back in the same way you were before.
Yeah.
So access consciousness is about everything is just an interesting point of view. They're sick, interesting point of view.
And you can actually,
Interesting point of view.
That's a tool you can use in Access. If people are annoying you or you're getting upset, like say you come home or your kids, they're like really annoying you, you can just be like, interesting point of view, I have this point of view about my children, interesting point of view, I have this point of view about my children,
I have this point of view,
interesting point of view, I have this point of view about my, you know, whoever it is. You can do it on kids, partners, mums, dads, family. You can do it on anyone. If you just constantly keep saying that, when you're in that moment where you actually want to pounce on them and scream at them, that's when you use the tools.
Just say interesting point of view. I have this point of view about them pouncing on me or me pouncing on them. You know, like.
So what do you do if someone comes to you and says, "I can't help how I feel"? Interesting point of view. I have this point of view.
The thing also, you've got to have allowance for people. Like a lot of people would say, like I've had a lot of people like say, I'm not saying clients, more like friends and family, like I can't help myself, this is going on, and then you go into facilitator mode, like, oh, but I've got all these tools for you. But then I'm like, you know what? You kind of just got to step back as well and be like, all right, like I can see like some of my friends, they're all about trauma and drama. They love it. They just love it. They don't want any help unless they're asking me, can you facilitate me to change this because I'm so sick of this, like help me out.
Now, unless they ask the question.
Unless they're asking you that or asking you for a session or actually coming, like a client's coming to you, then you contribute, like then you facilitate them. Otherwise, allowance is like the biggest gift that you can be to anyone. When someone's coming to you with, even if they are in trauma and drama now, like I have friends that do trauma and like I used to do trauma and drama before Access Conscious. I loved it. Like it was like, oh, this happened and this happened, or this happened to this person at work. And it used to be fun, especially for girls. They love the trauma and drama. So to get out of it and realize it's not a contribution doing trauma and drama, because it's basically you judging that person, you're judging you, you're judging a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. When you can step back and be like, that's not a contribution to my life, not a contribution to their life, I'm not going to choose that anymore. But I made that choice to change that. But I'm not going to wrong like other people for choosing it, because I did it too. You know, like I've done it before, but I'm just choosing to change my life. You know, so when they do it, you just got to have allowances, and in your head, just go interesting point of view. Have this point of view about what's going on. If it's a reaction for you,
and you can use interesting. You can use interesting point of view for anything, for your own points of view, for other people's points of view.
That's the question. Did you see the question on the screen?
Yes, you can. Because thoughts are 99% of all thoughts, feelings, emotions do not belong to us. As people that we actually don't function from thoughts, feelings, emotions. So when you function from thoughts, feelings, emotions, that's when you know you're not actually being you. We function from perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. That's how we're meant to function, but we're not taught that. We're taught to function from thoughts, feelings, and emotions, that's why when you function from thoughts, feelings, and emotions, that's why nothing works for you. That's why your life, like it might look like it's working for a little bit, but then it goes downhill, where it has your ups and downs, ups and downs. That's because you're going from the thoughts, feelings, emotions. When you function from perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving, life can be so much easier.
A whole new world opens up for you. Like a whole new world opens up for you when you choose that. Like if we've whatever's in our head or whatever our mind, if we thought we could do everything, we would have done it already. Like if we could think everything through and plan stuff out, we would have done it already. Like why is it taking us so long? It's because we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, as Einstein quoted. You know, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, and we do it all the time. You know, so
yes. So for every thought, feeling, or emotion that comes up, you can just acknowledge that. Okay, this is a thought, a feeling, emotion. Okay, acknowledge it. Okay, you can do interesting point of view. I have this point of view until that sensation goes away. Or you can do, who does this belong to? Return to sender with consciousness attached. So that's 2 tools that you can use straight away for any thought, feeling, emotion. And
Yes.
once you start doing that, once you actually start, they say in Access Consciousness that if you were to do Who Does This Belong To, Return to Sender for 3 days straight, after the 3rd day, you'll start to have a sense of who you actually are.
And you'll be a walking, talking meditation.
For sure.
How awesome would it be to go to a shopping centre and have it be like you were in a national forest? Like, how awesome would it be to be like that in a shopping centre with thousands of people at Christmas time?
Or like before you go to the shops, you feel a lot more enthusiastic when you leave. When you leave, you're always like depressed and this and that. What would it be like for you to go into the shopping centre the same way or greater when you exited? Like, what would that take for you to be a reality for you? You can ask for that. What would it take for me to be as enthusiastic as I am going to the shops, for me leaving the shops? And I've just actually recently asked that, and it's a big difference. You know, so
I needed that for my son today, because a 3-year-old having a nap at 4:15 in the afternoon. Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like, kids are so aware as well, and because they're like less, especially younger kids, they're still learning how to be in this reality and stuff. So the reason they muck up in shopping centres is because so much is going on around them. They're just picking up all the angry, frustration, all the stuff around them. So, like,
Yes.
Access Bars can help with that with them as well.
Yeah.
Like, Access Bars can help with kids at school. It can help with kids being more empowered in themselves. So, say if they do have bullying and stuff like that, it can actually help to clear them, so then they're not allowing themselves to be treated like that as well. And
well, they say like what happens in the kids on Access, they're all leaders of their school. All the parents that go to Access, they bring their kids along. Like, any classes of Access, the kids are free up to 16, and the parents bring all their kids. They all, like, the kids don't really listen to what's really going on. They're just in that presence of what's the energy's changing, this and that. And those kids, they're the leaders of their schools. Like, they're getting top grades. They're not fighting or getting obsessive about this and that. They're the leaders of their school, is because what they're doing with Access. So if you like your kid to be a leader in their school, their grade,
and choose for themselves too. So, like, them choosing for themselves rather than choosing, I'm going to do this because my friend's doing it. So, and like Jake said, if you do Access Bars, if you learn the Access Bars, kids under 16 are for free. So it's a good way. And kids can actually be practitioners too. So kids can actually make an income doing Access Bars, which is pretty cool.
And how young is the youngest that you can get them to do?
I did on a baby, so probably 6 months
As in
old.
do the course.
Yeah, as long as they can like touch, probably maybe 1 or 2. Like, you can do it younger, but obviously if they're in like, they can't like know what's going on. Like, if they can't sit and touch the points,
they probably have to be over 10 or something, to actually.
But I've had like 5-year-olds.
How about 5.5? Just asking for no reason at all.
Yeah, because they still, like, you can show them the points. And they because they know the energy. They know what's going on anyway, even though it's not. They don't have to know the full thing. Like, even in the Access Bars class that we teach, the kids actually have a special manual, and it's actually it's pretty awesome.
That looks cool. It's a little kids manual.
And all the kids from Access Conscious, like the parents that work in Access Consciousness, their kids actually created the manual. So it's pretty cool. Like, it's got like a smaller version than the adult's book. And
it's so much more colourful than the adult book. I'm like,
all the adults that come to the class.
That's unfair.
So on 2 of those, I've got amazing kids. I am completely 100% biased, but if I go, kiddo, I've just got a bit of a headache at the moment, he will literally stand behind me and put his hands on the back of my head and go, Mummy, I'm giving you some energy. Right? This is, even the 3-year-old does it. I've got little healers in the making.
They know that, like, that's natural to them. Like, Access Bars, it's kind of like, we actually have points. The points on the head when you actually touch these points, a lot of them actually have divots where the points are. So it's kind of like your head was made to have this done, but you didn't get taught that this is something that's required for you to actually have a more awesome life. You know, we had to go the hard ways. So, but yeah, basically, yeah, the things that Access Bars does, like I can talk to you days on like just what it's done for me and what it's done for other people. But the best thing is to do is like
you have to give it a go yourself.
Yeah.
Like we can talk so much about it, but if you don't give it a go yourself, then you're never going to know what's going on. So it's all your it's all your choice.
And it does stuff that you don't know as well. So that's what's so good about it. Sometimes we get caught up like we've got to know everything that we're clearing or what we've got to change. That's what actually stops it as well. The bar just knows, all right, you're on the table, they're going to touch your points. All right, that's it. This is coming up to clear. And 99% of the time, you actually don't know what got cleared. You just know that you actually sense that you feel different.
You feel better.
Something.
Yeah.
And everyone has different experiences. So, yeah.
And every session is different. Like I've had so many sessions, like I can't count. But every single session I have is completely different. But
no, that's
better. Like it doesn't get worse.
Well, that's encouraging. Where are you guys based? Just for people watching.
We're in Adenza Park, which is in Western Sydney. So it's kind of in between Liverpool and Fairfield, if you kind of know those areas. And,
where's your? Do you have a lot of people around Sydney or around?
I have people from everywhere. I've had people. Here's the funny thing. I had someone on my live feed a few weeks back. She was from Lithuania.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Of all the places in the world, but I get people from the UK. I get people from America. I get people from everywhere. So for them, it's about finding someone local to them. Unless when borders open, they want to fly to see you specifically.
Yeah.
Well,
go on our page. You can go on my page or Bianca's page. Just put in our names, and you'll see all the stuff we do.
Yeah, if you put my name in Google, my website will come up. I am doing a class on Sunday for Access Bars. It's a full day class. If anyone is interested, you can have a look. If not, like if you can't come to us, because where we are, if you just type up Access Bars, or go into Access Consciousness website, and you can actually go find a facilitator, and you can actually search per country, per suburb,
per town
even. And that's worldwide. So if you're not in Australia, if you're in a different country, even if you're in Lithuania, I'm sure there's probably someone around that can do it. So yeah, like if you can't get to us, that's cool. Go find another Access Bar practitioner or facilitator and give it a go. Like
for me, it was fun. Like it was fun meeting new people. Whenever I go to an Access class, it's just about meeting new people. When I do an Access class and people come, it's just like, oh, who am I going to play with now? You know, so it's about just meeting new people and what do they know, what do I know? So it's a contribution.
And sometimes the class is like having a session is good if you just want to give it a go, but actually learning it too, because it's only one day, and it's only to learn the actual Access Bars in Australia. It's $360 for the full day, and once you finish that course, you actually get registered as a practitioner. So you can actually you don't have to, but at least that way you can go do it on your friends and family. You can make a business out of it. Like you have a kind of a job if you choose. Like after one day of doing it. So, you know, and who doesn't require more ease and less stress and.
Well, none of these people are here, of course.
I just know that if I got, say, my husband to do the course, it'd be a bit touch and go whether he'd actually use it or not. I could be completely wrong. It has been known to happen on occasion. But if I get, say, my son to come and do the course with me, he would 100% be going, Mummy, do you need that done?
And that's his mummy so much. Like we've had a lot of, I've done a lot of kids in classes and they love doing it on there. Like it's kind of fun because kids don't have to do a long session. They can do like a 10-15 minute session on you because they're just quicker. At doing it.
They have less points of view.
Yes.
Less crap in here.
100%. Oh my gosh.
And they can start a business. Like, how awesome is that? That you can offer a business possibility for like your 5-year-old. Like, they can start off with doing like your family, like extended family. They charge like, I don't know, $10 per session or $20
per person, kiddo. Don't cheapen yourself, anyone.
Exactly. Well, whatever, you know, for kids, money is different. You know, they whatever they ask for. But yeah, like some of the kids that go to the classes are in the, like Dane and Gary, the founders of Access Consciousness. When they have classes, they go for like 3 or 4 days long. And the kids that come with the parents, they actually make money. Like, they'll actually do sessions for like 150 for half an hour, or do body processes and stuff. And they'll actually have a table, and they'll get like the other people that come and do sessions of them. Sometimes they probably make more money in that 3 or 4 days than adults make in a month. So
I don't know if you know much about this, but kids, if you want to know, everyone in the world manifests their own reality. We have to choose to be the authors of our reality. Now, kids are the masters at this. If you want to learn how to bring the stuff into your life that you want, look at a child. My son's the absolute king of it. Mummy, I'm going to have this soon. Oh, are you, buddy? When's that going to happen? My husband, my son, a few weeks ago went, I want to get a new bike because I've had my bike for a long time. 3 days ago, my husband brought 2 new bikes home from work because his boss didn't want, his kids weren't using them.
Well, that's how easy it can be for us. That's how easy it can be for us too. But yes, kids are magnitude. Like, they can create like instantly.
But you gotta tell them how. You gotta ask them. You gotta tell them how to create. Like, teach them how to create for themselves. Like, we're always about, like, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do that. Ask them what they would like to do, what they would like to create. We're gonna teach our kids what they would like to create, and for them to create on their own. Talk to them about money. You know, it's all about hush about the money. You know, talk to your kids about what money is, what you know about money. So tell them about that, and your child's going to grow. He's going to grow into something that's going to be way more phenomenal. So you got to teach them to create on their own.
And you can even ask a kid, what do you know about money, and see what they come to you with. Because kids, like you said,
he tells me he gets stuff.
Exactly, because they know how to create. When a kid desires something, they can.
I just said with the bike,
yeah,
you got the bike.
Got it. And even though he didn't get physical cash, that's still that's receiving. He received the bike.
That's exactly right.
He didn't have a point of view that I've got to work 10 hours today, and then once I work 10 hours, I'm going to have enough money to buy the bike. He's like, I'm having this bike, and it just came.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So that's
crazy
awesome.
kid.
That's getting better than that.
All right. Did you see the time?
Yeah.
We're done.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I know that went so quick.
Thank you so much for coming on again. I love when you guys are on because we get to have this awesome chat. What was I going to say apart from that? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're grateful for having been on your show.
And thank you for all the watchers and listeners. We're grateful for us being on your show.
I like having people who do something a bit different and who have different points of view about things. Because lots of people who do what I do only have readings on their show, but they don't kind of branch out into other things that are available. Like last week we had one of my friends on who does human design readings. If you want to talk human design, it's amazing. And talking about that emotional thing, I had a lady who is a human design person during the week in one of the groups I'm in say, Eileen, your chart, you're very open. You're like completely open emotionally. So you're constantly taking on everyone else's stuff. I'm like, yes, I am. But more so than a lot of people because of the way my system runs. And that's okay because I'm aware of it and I know how to sort of have my boundaries up or process the stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of these things that go hand in hand, and bars is one of them. Human design's part of it. It all kind of works together for, slightly different perspectives, but the same outcome, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, you ask what's going to work. If you can actually ask, if I choose this, you know, is this going to contribute to my life? And if you get a yes, then give it a go. If you get a no, then, you know, maybe it's not for you.
That's exactly right.
So, you know, some things might work for you more than something else. So
that's exactly right.
A different possibility if you're looking for it.
Exactly. All right. So, guys, next weekend next Thursday night, I am on doing readings. And next Friday night, I actually had a message from the lady I had booked in to say that she can't make it. So I'm looking for someone to take that spot. I've actually been chatting to a couple of people, so we'll see which one jumps first. That will be next Thursday night, Friday night. I will be back Monday morning for our usual little chat at, you know, whatever time that happens. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy, and we will see you next time.